the United States has just put the world on notice because of a new announcement that President Trump just made today. This is actually expanding on the tariffs that the United States is going to impose on Canada, Mexico, and China tomorrow. But now there's other countries that are being targeted. I want to explain what this means, which products are going to be targeted under the Trump administration, and what this likely means for you and I moving forward. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, explain how millions and millions of people around the world are going to be impacted. But all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So honestly, I was shocked when I read what President Trump just announced today. Shocking. Look at this right here. It says, Trump vows tariffs to hit Saturday with more in coming months. It says, Trump threatens tariffs on oil, gas, chips, metals, and drugs. President says substantial tariffs targeting the EU are in the works. I want to read to you what just went down today. Look at this right here. This is an article from Bloomberg. It says, President Donald Trump said he would impose tariffs on a wide range of imports, including oil and metals, in the coming months, expanding his plans to enact sweeping trade levies well beyond those set to hit China, Canada, and Mexico on Saturday. Yeah, things are going to get very different very quickly. Look at this. He says, we'll be doing pharmaceuticals and drugs, medicines, etc. All forms of medicine and pharmaceuticals. We'll be doing very important steel, and we'll also be doing chips and things associated to chips. That is what Donald Trump said today. He says, we are going to put tariffs on chips. We're going to put tariffs on oil and gas. That will happen very soon. I think about the 18th of February, and we're going to put a lot of tariffs on steel. Okay. Again, this is where things are starting to get a little bit out of hand because now these changes are happening so quickly. That's where the American people are like, what in the world is going on? How is this supposed to make the United States better? How is tariffs bringing prices down? Because that is what many people have been asking, demanding of the new administration to bring prices down. Well, here's what you need to understand. And I've been saying this for a while. Okay, I know I sound like a broken record, but this is the truth. The Trump administration believes that implementing tariffs and imposing tariffs on other countries is going to bring more production, more manufacturing back to the United States, which means more jobs. Not only that, but if we can bring in revenue through tariffs, then we could potentially bring the cost down as far as taxes are concerned. So initially, yes, it's going to be painful, but this is one way that we can actually pay for those tax cuts for corporations and small businesses, but also for individuals as well. Keep in mind, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has actually reduced your tax liability for every single person. Okay, it's reduced it, which means you get more money back into your pocket, and businesses get more money into their bank accounts, which they can then use to then go and reinvest back into their business and hopefully hire more workers. I want to keep reading this though. Look at this. It says, Trump's comments from the Oval Office reveal that even as he's set to impose tariffs on the United States' biggest trade partner on Saturday, he's beginning to look ahead to expanding them to other targets he's frequently mentioned, including the EU and also the commodity and technology sectors that the U.S. competes in. Now, here's where things are getting really interesting. And I say this because based off of all the statements that we've heard over the past several days, the United States is implementing a tariff. Okay, we're going to impose a tariff on Canada and Mexico and China because of the amount of fentanyl that they have allowed into the U.S. Okay, what about the EU? Is it the same reason or is it different? Well, we don't know yet, but look at this. It says oil rose in late trading after Trump's comments. It says West Texas Intermediate advanced to 73.33 at 4 p.m. In New York after earlier settling to 72.53. It says Trump on Friday said the coming tariffs would stack on top of any existing levies, but also indicated he would look to lower the rate on oil in the tariffs planned for Saturday. Trump has vowed a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico and a 10% tariff on China. Says, I'm probably going to reduce the tariff a little bit on that. We think we're going to bring it down to 10%. So again, we are going to see a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, 10% on China, but we're likely going to see a 10% tariff on oil and gas, based off what Trump is saying. I want to show you this, okay? Keep this in mind. It says further tariffs targeting oil and gas could come on February 18th, he added. So initially it could start low, and then we could go up from there. It says Trump has previously pledged sectoral tariffs on chips, pharmaceuticals, steel, aluminum, and copper as a bid to reshape supply chains and force manufacturers to shift production to the U.S., but had not specified when they would take effect. Okay, this is a huge, huge problem. Because, and again, do I think tariffs will work? I think tariffs have the ability to work. I think if we can implement tariffs on other countries and then do away with certain taxes, yes, that's going to help the American people. But if we have taxes where they're currently at and we have tariffs, it just means additional inflation. So again, that's a little bit of a problem. But like I said, it's going to be temporary pain. Now, I want to read you this as well, talking about the price worries. It says, price worries. The tariff threats could expand. Trump has also ordered reports due April 1st to overall trade issues and tariffs that could lead him to trigger new levies or to quit the Continental Trade Pact he renegotiated with Canada and Mexico in his first term. Yeah. Again, I don't think these tariffs are just an initial discussion. These are likely something that we are going to see implemented to other countries, even leading into the middle of 2025, even to the end. According to multiple senator aides, they are now saying that the Trump administration is attempting to push all these things through early on in his administration simply because he feels that, or the whole Trump administration feels that there will likely be some losses in the House and the Senate during the midterm elections. And this happens every single year whenever a party is in charge and has full control over the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Normally, historically, they do lose some seats in the midterm elections. Right now, the majority is so slim that if Republicans lose a handful of seats, well, it will flip to Democrats. And if that happens, then President Trump knows he likely will not get his agenda passed in the second part of his second term. So again, we got about 2 years of major changes. Now, here's the one thing I want to warn you on. You are going to see stories that yes, prices are increasing, that yes, taxes are going to come down, there's going to be tax cuts, there's going to be this and that. But just understand, in this administration, Donald Trump, President Trump, is going to disrupt what we have seen over the past several years. It didn't work over the past 4 years, so he is going to disrupt that. He's going to make changes, and as he makes these changes, it will either benefit us here in the U.S. or it will make it harder. Everything that he's doing, based off of what I've seen, eventually is going to work, but there's going to be a lot of pushback. So, we're going to see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you right now is to expect the unexpected. Because under President Trump, we've seen it in the first term, we're already seeing it in the first 10 days of his new administration, but expect the unexpected. So, I will leave you with that, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.